What up? What up? What's going on? Let me know. Do a little audio check. 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? If y'all can hear me, let me know in the chat how I sound. Yo yo yo. All right, we sound good. Sound all right. I'll give folks a couple more minutes. Chat. What's going on? What's going on, Alan? Going on 6. What's going on, BG? Team 100 in the building. Justin, what's up, man? He said it would sound better with the app with the AirPod Max headphones. That's yet to be determined, man. I don't know. I brought some heavy hitters in. What's up, Harrison? Appreciate you for stopping through, man. Big John Tech Reviews in the building. What's up? What's up? Yeah, man. So I went ahead and I did my I did a little due diligence just because I don't want to I don't want to be fanboyish. So I went through and I made some notes. All right. So we're gonna talk about this. And we're comparing the Apple joints to the competition, right? So the Apple headphones they're not audiophile at all. Audiophiles are not gonna mess with the Apple products at all. The reason being is because the Apple products don't rely on engineering. They don't rely on audio engineering to produce sound. They rely on computational audio, which is basically you play something through the headphones receive that signal, decide what to do with it, and then replay it. And if you do anything with audio fidelity or anything like that, that you will never like that solution. It's great for consumer side stuff though, right? Because consumers don't care about all that. Um, but we're gonna get into all of that though. Six say I thought I saw Bigfoot in the back of those trees. Hey man, if you do, light the chat up. All right, I'm rolling out like like the Autobots, man. Big John coming through with the $5 super chat. Says glad to see you live. A little support, my friend. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Been trying to be consistent, try to give folks something to look forward to. I appreciate the support. BD says they Beats dressed up. So even Beats, man, they don't do what the AirPods Max are doing. Which first off is a terrible name. Hey, mama in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping through. But yeah, BG, they don't. This is an actual different product. I will say that it's not, it's not Beats on steroids and nothing like that. These have been redesigned from the ground up. They're not necessarily doing anything that hasn't been done before, for the most part. They did make some interesting choices, but for $550 for a consumer grade headphone, they are in the stratosphere as far as headphones go. Only there are only a few other brands that will demand that type of price for a consumer grade headphone. You've got B&O, who has no problem throwing a $550 price at you for some headphones, right? But they're an audio manufacturer. Though. They design beautiful audio equipment. That's what they do. Another company called Master Dynamic. I actually have a pair of their wired headphones. Right now, literally, they're not these. They're similar to these, but they're noise canceling wireless headphones right now retail for $550. If you've seen Kevin Durant, they actually have a deal with him where he's pubbing them. But the build quality and the materials on a whole other level than what Apple is doing. So Apple's doing like a little mesh headband. They're doing a aluminum ear cup, which is what this is. That's how they're getting those colors. They're doing anodized aluminum. Um, they are doing magnetic ear cups, which is similar to what Master Dynamic does. But all that mesh and all that stuff is, nobody wants that, especially if you want a good solid seal for closed back and mesh. In my opinion, um, for consumer grade audio isn't the best. That's why you see most consumer grade products using some sort of leather. Now, for comparison, when these came out, they were $400, right? And these are wired, but you got the option to do wired in both ears. Um, Pure anodized aluminum. These are using a similar little slide, no clicks and all that stuff. This is a sliding stainless steel ball bearing adjustment. This is lambskin leather up here, and this is calf leather on the ear cups. They are interchangeable. They're just magnetic. You can pop them off. Um, I didn't pay 400 for these, but just as far as the type of build quality and build materials that you're going up against at that price point, Apple is already dropping the ball. Like they're not competing. See, I'm gonna hop in the comments right quick. Yeah, Big John says those are really expensive. Wow. Yeah, man, 550 is on up there. Brizzy in the building says, will the Max AirPods work well with engineering and mixing, or do I stick with the norm? No, they will not. I've been searching. Granted, they just were announced, and I'm gonna go ahead and before I even get into kind of my opinions and all that stuff, I'm gonna give you guys kind of like a rundown of the headphones, right? So they're 550. They got 40 millimeter drivers. They do ANC, which is active noise canceling. They do spatial audio or 3D audio. Several companies have done that before. They do 20 hours of battery life with ANC active and spatial audio active, which is interesting. We'll touch on that later. Um, they have the aluminum ear cups, stainless steel frame, mesh canopy headband. Um, and for volume and skip track, play, answer calls on, and all of that, they have a little digital crown on the top of one of the ear cups that you twist, which is silly, right? I don't know, that's weird. They come in 5 colors: white, black, blue, orange, and green. They have H1 chip in each of the ear cups that's doing the audio processing. Literally everything you play through them is basically processed. So they're going to process it, decide how they want it to sound, and play it back for you. They also support Siri for spoken messages and notifications and stuff like that. They have on-head detection, so they know when they're on your head, know when you take them off. They have a weird little, I don't know, case, if you want to call it that. The case doesn't really cover the headphones; just cover the ear cups, and they put them in this like low power mode or something like that. Engineering for no reason. I don't know. Um, and so here's I just first give you the information. So they use a lightning port, not Type C, lightning. Huge strike in my book. 5 minutes of charge gives you 1.5 hours of playback, right? That sounds good, but once again, they are one of the most expensive pair of consumer headphones you can buy right now. And we'll kind of compare these specs and compare to the top dogs right now. But what I said we touched on earlier was battery life. So the battery life they're stating 20 hours with basically all the features on. And I thought, well, that's kind of normal. You have a basically like a max feature battery life, which is usually less than your battery life with, if you turn those off or do whatever. They only list 20 hours for almost everything, right? So for listening playback, it's 20 hours with the ANC on. If you're on a phone call, they'll listen 20 hours as well, which usually you don't use ANC on phone calls. Usually you want some sort of pass through so you can hear yourself. So in my mind, that's ANC off and it's still only 20 hours. We'll see, you know. But for reference, right? So the Sony M4s right now on Sony's website, directly from Sony, are 280. Normally they're 350, but right now they're 280. So it is what it is. They're 280. They are right now one of the best noise canceling headsets you can get. They also support high res audio, wired and wireless, which is basically in order to get that certification, you have to be able to play back audio at a certain fidelity, right? As close to the original production as possible. So they're focusing on audio quality. They also support LDAC, which is a high end audio profile. But they also have the option to do upscaling of compressed music, so they can do some computational audio as well. That's something you can turn on and off. It's not 24/7. They get 30 hours of battery life with noise canceling on. So that's a huge leap over what Apple is offering. Um, 10 minutes of charge gives you 5 hours of playback, right? Remember, the Apple ones, 5 minutes of charge gets you 1.5 hours. Another huge ding. They also support 3D reality audio. So they're doing their own spatial audio as well. They also support NFC, a whole slew of other, you know, technical features. They're using touchpads, so you just tap to play, tap to pause, swipe up and down for volume, swipe back and forth. There's no finding the digital crown and turning it and pressing the button and um, I don't know. It's crazy. But even if you take it a step up, the Bose noise canceling 700, which is their top of the line headphones, they start at 340. Well, they cost 340. Still, $200 less than what Apple is charging for theirs, right? Also have USB-C. Um, they support quick charging. They have capacitive touchpads on the ear cups so you can swipe and do other features for the listen and pass through and stuff like that. Bose is another company though that isn't a pure audio company. They actually do computational audio, so they're gonna listen and play back your audio when you play through their headsets. But one thing that kind of brings me back to what Brizzy asked about earlier for mixing and all that stuff, I've seen nowhere where these headphones from Apple are going to have a 3.5 mil headphone jack. Like they don't put one in the box. All the renders I see don't have that port. It has been difficult to see the Lightning port, so I don't know if they have that port on the other side. But I wouldn't put it past Apple to not have that port on there. And if that's the case, I mean, that's to me that's huge, right? Because if you're out somewhere and the battery dies, especially with their weak charging times, being able to just plug them in, like these are the Sennheiser HD ones or the Momentum twos or whatever you want to call them. These are basically the original version of Sennheiser's highest end noise canceling consumer grade headphones. Real leather ear cups, leather on the ear band, aluminum headband. Um, I'm wired right now with them because the mic on them is kind of subpar. They're older, but I have that option though. So I don't know. Let me go to the comments and see what y'all chopping up in here with. Let's see. Yeah, so Brizzy definitely stick to the norm right now. BG says the Apple brand tax is about 300 alone. You're right, man. You put the Apple on stuff, it's like the Jordan symbol, man. You take a regular pair of socks, regular tube socks, right? Walmart brand, they're nothing. You throw that Jordan symbol on there, now you can let the games begin as far as the pricing, especially shoes. A pair of shoes without that Jordan symbol, they ugly, right? Throw that Jordan symbol on there, now they going online for $300-400. That's how it works. Big John says, I do like headphones to have magnetic ear cups, easy to clean them off and keep them nice. Yeah, so that's a feature that I like, or at least make them pretty easy to replace. Like these, they're pure leather. They've been wearing amazingly. This is my favorite ear cup material, like real leather, just because of the way they wear. But being able to pull them off and put some on relatively easy, that's a must, especially at that price point. Wavy Jazzy Jeff in the building. What's going on, man? BG said, "Damn, lightning." Yeah, man. That Apple released a brand new device with a lightning port on it in 2020, man. Sucks for them. Oh, also, as far as compatibility goes, these will only work with Apple devices. So MacBooks, Macs, iPads, iPhones, iPods. If you have a non-Apple device, according to their documentation, it will not work with that. What's up, Alpha in the building? He says the 550 is a pass for me. Yes, I know for me, dog. Hey, my baby in the building says hello. BG says ultimate fanboy gear. Yeah, yeah, they're gonna be basically a status symbol. Sort of like the $700 wheels for the Apple desktop. That XDR display or whatever. Um, yeah, it's definitely gonna be whack. BG said, "I thought you was about to pick up some socks." Nah, man, I wasn't ready for that. I could have pulled something out, but I wasn't ready for that sock analogy though. But yeah, man. Anybody who knows me knows I'm, a fan of headphones. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile. I do have some audiophile geared headphones. That's why when Apple dropped these for 550 in the consumer space, that's why for me, like a red flag went up. I'm like, this is they cannot plan to sell a lot of these. I think they're literally creating another fashion statement, basically, right? They look different than everything else. They're coming out in different colors. So if you're in the airport and you got these on, it don't matter what else you got on, right? Everybody's gonna know that those are the Apple headphones, right? I think that's the goal that they're trying to hit. I don't think they care about audio and audio fidelity and all that stuff. They're gonna make it good enough. They're not. I don't think they're trying to be the best. I mean, maybe the noise canceling might be cool, but usually fabric ear cups and noise canceling don't go together because you're looking for a passive seal. Like to make your noise canceling as effective as possible. Like these are leather. When I put these on, even with them off, it's already tamping down a whole lot of ambient noise already just from the seal I get from the ear cups. Fabric doesn't seal. Like it's just naturally a material that is designed to breathe, right? I I don't I don't know. Maybe they've come up with some Apple magic. We'll find out. Studs in the building. He says, I can't wait to buy these overpriced headphones from Apple, along with the overpriced Fold 2/3 and the overpriced MacBook Pro to go with the M1 chip. He says GTFOH. You know what that means. Yeah, man, I agree with you. But look, Stud, if you buy that Fold, man, you got to buy something else because these not going to work with the Fold, right? Unless they come out and say differently. I've scoured all the fine print on their website. Compatibility list lists only Apple devices. So you're gonna have to buy you I don't know, go on Samsung's website and buy the most expensive pair of headphones on there. They got some I think they're on like $299 or something like that though. Only $299. But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, man, this is I don't know, it's the end of the year. Nobody else is really dropping anything. It's right before Christmas. This is dropping. So you can pre-order now and they'll release on the 15th. Will they get to you before Christmas? Who knows? Nobody's guaranteeing anything right now as far as shipments. Like I just shipped out my Note 20 Ultra yesterday. I shipped out my Gear S3 Frontier because I did upgrade to the Galaxy Watch 3. As far as it is, I shipped those FedEx. As far as arrival times, the lady was like, kind of somewhere into the weekish, something like that. Might be, the weekend, might be next week. They're not getting. Nobody wants to guarantee any shipping times because before COVID, shipping times already went in the dumps as far as predictability. Now, with the holidays, yeah, man, it's a wrap. BG says, "Ultimate, I'm gone. Taking selfie at the airport. About to go to Miami. Vacation cloud headphones. Yeah, man, that's essentially what they are. And usually, man, like I say, it's an Apple thing, and because it's Apple, everybody's gonna recognize it. There have been headphones in that space that exist already that have a better build quality, better build materials. Uh, just kind of speaking a little preemptively, a more respect for audio and acoustics. Because one thing I like about um, the Master Dynamic headphones, there is no app for these. Even the wireless ones, even the Bluetooth ones. These are what I would call basically like speakers for your ears, right? And what that means is when you have somebody designing a speaker, like a real speaker, not like a home audio, anything like that, none of that virtual surround sound stuff, like a pure speaker. That means that an engineer has physically had to shape and design the woofers and the ear cups and decide on the ear cup material to deliver a certain type of sound, right? And that means that no matter what you play through it, that sound signature is going to remain the same. Like there's no distortion. Um, and even the wireless ones, the wired and wireless sound the same. They have the exact same sound signature. That's the type of, when I say audio engineering, that's what I'm referring to. Apple has designed some technology to play audio, but I don't think the audio engineers will really be. I don't think they'll be messed with the AirPod Maxes, which is a terrible name. Still says 350 would have been a better price point. Those are peasant prices, man. This is Apple we're talking about. Okay, you're talking about Apple, the top dog. You can't be the top dog and have people charging more for the same thing. Can't have that. They got to go for the gusto, man. You know how Apple does. They gonna sell it at that price, or they gonna get rid of it. Apple come with peasant prices. Yeah, man, 350. You're not wearing no Apple headphones for 350. The next pair of AirPods might be 350. The ones that go in your ear with the stem, shoot, they probably gonna be 350, man. Think about it. Bridget says the next Apple headphones will cost 1,000 and come with no speaker. Yeah, man, you're gonna get that. You gonna open the box, it's gonna be an Apple sticker. That's it. And put these on whatever headphones you got. Give us our money. But yeah, man, that is definitely the Apple way. But speaking of expensive things, um, as Apple says, Apple trying to stay rich. Hey, man, look, I tell people this all the time. I'm not anti-Apple, right? I personally don't support Apple products because their business is not made for consumers. Their business is made for business, right? You don't become the richest company in the history of the stock market by having what you sell cost anywhere near what you sell it for, right? So that means that the products that Apple is selling cost significantly less than what they charge people for, right? That's like that's just math. That's just simple math. So if Apple is charging the same thing as another product, the cost for them to make their product is significantly less, right? And to me, that means you're just trying to make money. Like everybody needs to make money to function as a business. You go into business to make money, right? Nobody goes into business to lose money or give things away for free or at cost because you can't survive, right? You got to pay your employees, you got to benefit them well. That's just the name of the game. But when you are making that much money past everybody else, at a certain point, that's not superior products. That's superior business, right? And because the thing is, Apple isn't number one. Like they're number one in smartwatches, right? They're selling the most smartwatches. The market for smartwatches ain't that much, right? Apple is not selling the most phones anymore. They haven't been for years, but yet their profits still soar past everybody else's. That means that what they are selling is marked up so high, and it's costing them so little to produce it that, I mean, that's just anti-consumer to me. Like, charge less. Like that's just they're driving prices for everything. BG says right. AirPods Pro 2 360. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Like I really wouldn't. Like all AirPods would do is come out there and blow some smoke. Like, oh yeah, we spent tireless hours designing these and all of this stuff. Like the fact that you went out and you put a lightning port on some headphones in 2020, that's anti-consumer, man. It just is. And so I don't know. Since this is the first pair of headphones that Apple has manufactured, I don't know if Lightning supports audio. I don't know if they support audio over Lightning. But if you have a MacBook Pro, um, you can't plug these into your MacBook without an adapter because there's no USB-A on a MacBook Pro. I know my wife has the highest end MacBook Pro you can buy, and it has 4 Type-C ports on it. So you have to still go out and buy something else in order to plug these into your MacBook if that's another option for audio. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of talking about them, but they're out there. I can't wait to see the reviews and let people get their ears on them, see them in the wild. We'll never see the sales numbers because Apple will stop providing that. But I'd be interested to see how many of these we see in the wild. When you're out in your city, you see somebody with these on, you know, I'd be surprised. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, speaking of expensive things, so I mentioned earlier that I sold my Note 20 Ultra. It's gone on to another home. I have my final review up uh, probably today. I just got to upload it. But I'm replacing it with a Galaxy Z Fold 2, specifically because the prices have come down a good bit since they've come out. They've been out for a couple of months. 2000 is just too much to pay, especially for something that you can't, you have to have a second phone in order to have a Z Fold. That's just my opinion because there's so many places and so many things you can't do with it. You have to have a second phone. Like if you're gonna work out, you can't take a Z Fold to work out, right? If you're going to the beach, you ain't taking it to the beach. You ain't going swimming. You ain't sitting there by the pool. You got kids. It's a wrap, right? You're not letting your kids play games on that phone. So for me, I went with the Note because I felt like the Fold wasn't going to be the best phone, and it wasn't going to be the best tablet, right? Especially at that price. Like at that price, I literally could have paid retail for my Tab S7 Plus and my Note 20 Ultra, which I didn't. I got them for significantly less, and so that was just kind of a no-brainer for me. I'm gonna get the best phone and the best tablet for that same price versus getting something that's kind of a compromise on both. But at the price they're at now, especially with what I sold my Note 20 Ultra for, as something to try and still have a secondary phone. I've been using the S20 FE. This phone is solid. It is super solid, especially for the price. Retail, it was $700. You know how Samsung devices do. As soon as they hit the streets, their price is plummeting. So if you can get a S20 FE for like 500, 600, it's killing a Pixel, to be honest. 120 hertz screen, um, the battery, the cameras, even using the video cameras, you got pro mode and stuff like that. To me, it's a better built device than the Pixel. I'm just putting it out there. So it's a bigger device. I think it's a good size. The Pixel to me was still kind of small. That's a personal preference, but I think everything else you're getting um, at that same price point, you're getting the actual 800 series processor. Still getting the 5G, all the wireless stuff. You're getting the triple cameras. It's a super solid device at that price point. But yeah, so that's gonna be my kind of do whatever phone, and then the Fold is gonna be my, I'm gonna have it, but the Fold is gonna be my, top of the line phone. Kind of taking Floss's approach. He's like, you got a Z Fold, that can't be your only phone, right? You need a beater, a beater phone, and this S20 FE is gonna be my beater phone. So look out for that coming to the channel. Should be here Thursday. Thursday is gonna be a big day if that delivery date holds up. Because that's the Z Fold 2 and Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk goes live at 6 p.m. Central. I will be streaming um, Cyberpunk at some point. I don't know exactly what time, but I'll let y'all know when I start streaming it. So it's gonna be a big day for me. How about the chat says Alpha comment says facts. I think you're talking about the pricing in the in regards to the Apple headset. But yeah, man, that's something that I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to sharing that with you guys on the channel because I do feel like foldables are the future. Um, Maybe not necessarily the way that Samsung is doing it, but because Samsung has stuck with it and they've done the Samsung thing, which is they got enough money to put out several devices and just see what sticks. Right. So the Fold 2 is we're getting all kind of, praise online from reviewers. I've never seen a Fold in person. Right. This year was actually my first time being able to actually pick up a Fold in the Z Fold 2 and fold it and get to experience it. Because my Best Buy had an original Fold, but I guess because it was so fragile, they had it under glass. Right. They even got Z Flips, but you can't actually pick them up and flip them and kind of get a feel for that action. They got one that's under glass and they got another one that's kind of locked down and it's locked in like an L kind of almost 90-degree angle. And I'm like, I understand it's the Z Flip. You want people to see that they can flip, but why? like the test for it isn't what does it look like when it's half folded. The test is how good of an actual phone is it? Like when it's flipped out, how close is that experience to the one I'm getting already? And you can't really tell with that. So that's weird marketing though. See, Phone Tech at Work says JQ just ordered the two Maxes. He didn't get the new iPhone, so he's trying them. Uh, yeah, the new iPhone is, it's doing what it does, man. Hats off to Apple for dropping several colors day one versus doing the weird thing where they drop boring colors and then come out with like something else later on. Hats off to them for that. People are liking the Max a lot. I've been watching durability tests on the Max. It's, I mean, I'll say this. I'm still not a believer in the glass. The glass still scratches the same way other glass scratches. Uh, as far as drop protection goes, I feel like the redesign with the flat glass and the flat sides has a lot more to do with the durability that I'm seeing in these drop tests than the actual glass does. Um, oh, he says he meant the Apple headphones and Mac. He ordered two pairs. Well, I guess you can get two pairs of Maxes for less than an iPhone 12 Pro Max, so that's not unreasonable. Um, hey, hats off to him. I, I don't know if anybody's gonna do it. It's gonna be JQ or Alan, one of y'all. I wouldn't be surprised if Alan popped up with a pair on, even though he's not a headphone guy. And this is the kicker, right? You're gonna have a lot of people that don't know anything about headphones spending premium headphone money on these Apple headphones just because they're Apple. And now I'm gonna have to listen to people telling me, "Oh, it's the best thing ever!" Like, "Oh, they sound amazing." I don't know. I will say this: I'm interested to see how the noise canceling performance works. Like I said, especially with the mesh ear cups. Generally, that's kind of counterintuitive in noise canceling headsets, but we gonna see. We're gonna see how strong the Apple Magic is this year. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that was just burning to talk about? Um, we've been seeing S21 renders pop up, and there are also some other rumors next year about how Samsung's going to take their lines. Supposedly, they're saying that you're going to have an S Pen on everything, so folds with S Pens. Supposedly, the Galaxy S21s is going to have some sort of S Pen version, and they're going to kill the actual Note line, and basically everything will just have a pen. And the new top dog will be the Fold 4 or whatever they decide to call it next year. I feel like that was kind of the aim this year with the Fold, but I feel like they were they definitely had to work out a lot of kinks from the Fold 1. They couldn't put out the original Fold, have it basically launch under, as a disaster, relaunch it, and then this year kill the Fold. I mean, kill the Note and tell people just to buy Folds. Like, they couldn't do that. So I feel like next year is going to be the year of the Fold for real, for real. Suppose they're going to have some a cheaper version of it, like a Fold Light, and then they'll have the Top Dog Fold. I'm terrified to see what they're going to charge for the Top Dog Fold because once you start putting that Note tech in there, the Wacom digitizer and the S Pen and all that stuff, that price goes up. It goes through the roof, man. Phone Tech says, never mind, he was trolling me. Hey, man, I can't blame you, man. Like I said, if anybody's going to do it, I didn't doubt that JQ didn't pre-order two of them. Like, if anybody knows JQ, he's probably more of an Apple head than Alan is. Says, when's my fold coming in? My fold is supposed to get here Thursday. That's what the tracking info says. But then again, I had something that was supposed to get here yesterday, and I went and refreshed the app yesterday, and it just said arriving late, and didn't give me a anticipated time. So I don't know. I got my fingers crossed it'll happen Thursday, but I am remaining realistic. I'll say that about the delivery time. But yeah, man, I'm pumped for it. Uh, Alice says Thursday. Okay, should be there Saturday. I would not be surprised if it got here Saturday because the guy did ship it USPS. So I bought it off of Swapper. I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, I bought it off of Swapper. I got on there and I was looking because basically this is kind of like an anticipatory move. When I found out that it's very reasonable to expect the Fold 3 to have a pin, I'm like, well, that's the only thing that held me back from the Fold 2 this year was knowing the one to have and this being like I need that in my life. So kind of looking forward to that. I was like, well, let me look at what I could sell my sell my Note 20 Ultra for, and kind of like power up for that purchase next year. And I was looking, and people selling their notes used for like 800-900. I'm like, okay, that's me. Like it's time to go. Like, I'm gonna go ahead, especially after, and the catalyst for that was using this S20 FE. I'm like, I can rock with this. Like it's big enough, performance is good enough. I can rock with this for a little while. But then I saw what the folds were going for. They were going for like between 12 and 13. So I was like, that's legit, because I know Samsung will give you at least a rack for a fold next year as a trade in on the new fold. So I'm like, yeah, and then that'll help me actually decide like what I actually want to do. And also, kind of as a tech reviewer, like I've been holding off on all fold stuff, but the reviews for the fold 2, from durability, from performance, this thing, it gets even better battery life than the Note 20 Ultra, which has been kind of a pain point for me. It isn't really a sacrifice at this point. And also kind of reframing my thoughts on it, which was, before I was like, well, it's not going to be that great of a phone because when it's closed, it's a weird aspect ratio and all that stuff, super thick. And it's not going to be the best tablet, right? But the reality is, the tablet that you have, or the screen you have with you at all times, is the best screen you have, right? So even if I have, you know, uh, you know, 12.4-inch Super AMOLED, 120 hertz beast at the house, but I'm at the grocery store or I'm in line somewhere, I'm somewhere waiting, that screen at home does me no good, right? But when I'm out, and now I got this 7.6-inch guy that I can pop up, and this AMOLED, and it's 120 hertz, and it has all my Samsung, tie-ins. I can tie into my whole Samsung ecosystem with it. Now that's pretty powerful, right? Especially if the battery life isn't that bad from what I've been hearing. So kind of thinking about it more as a mobile device and not really like a laptop replacement, because I use my Tab S7 Plus as my laptop. Like when I sit down and I got anything to do, I'm responding to emails, or my daughter has to do some work. Like I'm pulling that out. I'm going through. I'm using it to bang stuff out. So that's kind of how I view that. I would love to have it with me everywhere, but especially with COVID, you're not really going anywhere and setting up shop, right? If you're somewhere and you're waiting in line, you're probably waiting to pick something up curbside. And so being able to pull the fold out of my pocket and pop it open and respond to emails, or multitask and do whatever I do, I think it'll actually fit my lifestyle a lot better than I originally thought, right? 'Cause before, I was kind of seeing the price and what you can get for the price. And I think that a Note 20 Ultra and a Tab S7 Plus is definitely a stronger combo if you have them both with you. But if you're out and about and you only got a Note, I think that kind of flexibility wise, the Fold 2 beats it, especially if you can get it for essentially a Note price, which is what I did. So yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to that. We'll definitely be throwing up content about it. If y'all got any questions, um, I did want to ask y'all this: do y'all want to see like a live stream when I get it? Because I've been kind of lax on the like first impression videos and kind of doing just mostly reviews. I do them because they get views, but as far as like my genuine desire to do it, it's every phone I pull out, reaction might be like, oh, this is good for the price. Like, where is it at? The TCL 10 Pro, right? This is my second phone right now. This is probably the most shocking phone that I've unboxed, mostly because it was TCL's first TCL branded phone, um, and it cost like 450. But the build, the display, an AMOLED display with HDR, I mean, like for the price, this phone is shockingly good. Like every time I pick this phone up, every single time, even now, like I've had this phone for months. Even now, when I pick it up, I'm like, dang, this phone is that phone is built well. It's a solid phone for real. Uh, Let's see. BG says they forcing a fold on me. Alpha says do it. Yeah, man. Yeah, BG next year. To be honest, it don't matter what Apple put out, man. You gonna need to have that fold, man. Like even this year, like the Note 20 Ultra, it is what it is. But I think next year when you start seeing, because that'll be the technically the third year that Samsung has been selling the fold device. You gonna start seeing them in the streets, and you gonna pull your iPhone out, and somebody gonna flex on you with a Z Flip from 2019, and be like, "Oh, but does it do this?" It don't matter what your iPhone do at that point, man. You know what I mean? Like unless you gonna pull out iMessage and start sending 4K videos or something, you ain't gonna you gonna be they gonna sun you right there on the spot. Alpha says do it. BG says the display is great. Yeah, man. So in my Best Buy they actually have a black one, which is what I'm getting. Oh, and also I was able to get a black one with a D brand skin already pre-installed. It has some tempered screen protectors for the front and the back glass. Has a case, which has been a big sticking point. Actually, has two cases, but also it's the one with the custom hinge with the silver hinge on it. So I think that between the wait time that you would have to wait to get the custom hinge and the cases and all that stuff, I'm picking it up at a time where somebody's already done all that waiting, already done all that stressing. They got a case, they got the custom hinge. It looks basically pristine for the most part. Um, it's a good deal. A used pickup on a good one is a go for sure. But my Best Buy has one, and anything about Best Buy displays, that's gonna let you know what some wear and tear looks like on the device. The hinge is still solid. The display is still pretty much. There are no big imperfections in it. If I took it home and like kind of picked it out for sure, I feel like I might see like maybe some dents on the one that's on display, but I mean, it's just on display for people to pick up, fold, and play around with. I mean, and it still looks good for sure, man. So BG, come on to the dark side, man. Get you a fold. I know you got a couple of devices you can sling, and go ahead and snatch you one up, man. Just for the heck of it, I do it. I did it. I say I do it. I did it, man. So I'm gonna be in the fold community here soon. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. As far as like doing an unboxing, it's one of the few things that I think that I genuinely look forward to my first impressions. Like not seeing one that's bolted down, but actually having one at home, being able to kind of go through and set it up. I know Samsung has done some things to optimize that experience, still being hindered by Android and its ability to accommodate for different screen sizes. Um, but I'm looking forward to working around those and letting you guys know if it's a go or not. I think it's gonna be a go though, especially next year. The durability is improved drastically from the first one. People show their first ones and like the hinge is just like one of the screens just kind of flaps around. So they definitely improved the hinge a lot, which has been a big sticking point. The display seems to be pretty durable, especially the idea that you can just close it up and it's just glass on the front and back like a regular phone. I think that's a good look. It's a good look for real. But yeah, man, I want to hop in the comment section one more time, man. Do who in the comments actually owns a fold or has owned a fold in the past or touched the fold? Now, what are y'all's thoughts on it before we wrap up? Give you guys a little chance to chime in and let me know what you think. But in the meantime, I'm gonna look and make sure there was nothing else that I wanted to mention about Apple's new entry into the over ear headphone space. What was that? BG says I'm poor as he walks around with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You got a Max, right, BG? The top dog. But yeah, I'm just messing with you, man. Uh, yeah, no 3.5. Oh, also, this might not be a big deal, but the weight. So for reference, The Bose noise canceling 700s, they are they're pretty light. Bose usually focuses more on lightweight stuff than like build quality materials and things like that. But the noise canceling 700s weigh just under 9 ounces, and the Apple headphones weigh 13.6 ounces. So 4 more ounces. Does it matter? I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it won't. But with this being their first pair of over-the-ear headphones, man, I'm really interested to see just how kind of how they hold up. Because outside of AirPods, Apple really has flopped with the other audio devices. Like they do a lot of techie stuff, but as far as like matching up the price to performance, um, they kind of been lacking. And with these, them limiting this to an um, Apple only ecosystem, I think kind of hurts. But only the purest Apple fanboy will spend this type of money on these headphones. So I really think it won't matter. It won't hurt them that it's Apple only. Yeah. BG says yeah he got the Max. Yeah. So 12 Pro Max. Yeah. But I understand needing to have a little diversity in your life. Having an Apple device and an Android makes you a little more well rounded. I respect that. Um, Still struggling to justify picking up an Apple device though, just because I feel like unless I'm going to start a Apple channel, that's a lot of money and time invested. Because if you get an iPhone, if I get an iPhone, I don't, I can't tell you about half the benefits of the iPhone. Like as a standalone device, like it's not much better than, um, a Note. Like there's nothing you can do that a Note or a Samsung device or something can't. Not much it can do that they can't. It's really the ecosystem. So unless someone's going to buy an iPhone and an iPad and some sort of MacBook or something like that, I'll just be making case videos, accessory videos for the iPhone, and I'm not, I don't have enough time for that right now. Large picture in the building. What's up? Says you'd be surprised how many people gonna get these new headphones. Hey, look, it's Apple. Like I said earlier, you're gonna see people that have no idea about headphones wearing these headphones just because they have an Apple. I don't know if they have an Apple logo on them. I didn't see an Apple logo in any of the pictures. See over in the building. What's going on, bro? What's so good about them? They're Apple at this point. To me, for the price point, there's nothing I saw that justifies the price point, especially when you look at the competition. Noise canceling over the ear headphones, they're going up against the Sony M4s, which right now on Sony site they're 280, and the Bose 700s are going for 350. The price of the Apple ones are 550 for the headphones. 550 for the headphones. They charge using a lightning port, 20 hours of battery life with ANC on. Only work with Apple devices. Don't work with anything else. Um, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people are gonna be like, nah, dog, because Apple's been kind of having that sticker shock for people here lately for some stuff. And I think the HomePod was one of them, where it's like you got Amazon and Google hitting you in the head with speakers every time you get, man. But they came with that HomePod, and you had to have an Apple device to set it up. Nobody likes Siri like that, man. Those are just the facts, man. That's true. Shoot, even Apple Music ain't hitting like that. Ciova says Sony hands down best on the market at 280. Yeah, for that price. Once you start factoring in price, you get outside of a bubble. Um, it's hard not to pick the Sonys, like from an audio perspective. I know some people like the way the Bose sound, but do the Bose sound not 100? Do the Bose sound $60 better than the Sonys? They don't. They don't cancel more noise than the Sonys. They don't give you more flexibility for audio quality. Like if you care about audio quality, the Sonys are winning hands down. Bose are doing computational audio. They're not doing true audio design. true audio engineering. That's not the case. But then they have the tech on top of that, right? So they have their digital sound enhancement extreme, their DSCE that you can turn on or off that will upscale compressed MP3s and stuff like that. But then they also support LDAC, which is one of the highest quality wireless streaming standards you can have. I mean, not wired, but wired streaming standards. They support high res audio, wired and wireless. 30 hours of battery life with ANC on. All the smart tech you want. Um, they know you got them on. They auto pause and play your music. The Sony's even when you start talking, they will dip down your music and turn on ambient audio because they know that you're having a conversation with somebody. I mean, there are too many people doing more impressive stuff for less than what Apple is charging. But then again, that's the Apple. It's the Apple tax, right? Nobody judges Apple products against other products. Like that's not the test for Apple people. Apple people judge Apple products against old Apple products, right? Is it better than the last iPhone? Is it better than the last iPad? These have never been seen before. So people, they about to power up and pay this $550 for these headphones, man. At least that's what I think. Because it's gonna be a status symbol. It's not a, you know, I walk through the airport with these on. Nobody knows what they are. But these are the Sennheiser HD1s. These, when they were brand new, cost $400. Nobody knows that though. Like when I walk around with these on, or I hop on the stream with these, very few people know what these are, right? They don't know like, oh, you got, you know, lambskin magnetic ear cups. You got full airplane grade aluminum. You got calf skin on the headband. They don't know anything about that, man. Like they know about Beats. They know about those. So in that arena, the consumer arena, I think Apple 550 is still too high for them to really sell. Um, I think if they were 400, not saying they're worth 400, but I think at 400, people would have seen them as a little bit more reasonable because I feel like that's closer to a price tag they've seen. Like Beats Studios, they've been 350, like 360, somewhere up in there. So once people kind of justify the Apple tax, I feel like they could justify paying that um, for the Apple headphones, even if they're just fanboys. The thing is, Beats ain't never been worth 350. The play you have ever held a pair of Beats? Yeah. But let's see. Large picture says LOL Apple. Screw you. Take my money. Hey, it's gonna be some people like that, man. See overhead says Bose don't sound better than the Sony in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I don't like the Bose sound myself. Um, that's just me. Well, actually, I say that I got a homeboy who had the QC35 twos, and he used to swear up and down by Bose, man. Like, oh man, you got to buy the Bose, man. The Bose this, Bose that, and during the little Black Friday sale and stuff, he ended up picking up a pair of M4s for like 220, and he got them home. And he was like, "See, man, I told you these are trash, man. The noise canceling is better on my QC35 twos, and just not this and that." And I'm like, "Well, I don't care how much of a fanboy you are. There's no way you're gonna pick up the M4s and say the QC35 twos cancel more noise than the M4s. Like that's just not possible." So I'm like, "Man, did you do the audio optimization or the environmental optimization or whatever?" He's like, "Oh no, what's that?" So I told him how to do it, and basically it's where it listens to your environment and basically adjusts its noise canceling to the environment. He did that and he hit me back. He's like, "Bro, these things sound amazing." He couldn't even deny it at that point. So having a Bose fanboy, as hard as he like, man, I wish I could see the chats he be sending me, man, about Bose. He just wakes up in the morning and just talks shit to me about Bose. And now he's a Sony man. Ciova says they don't know about the good stuff. Yeah, yeah, man. Ciova says Beats been trash from day one. Facts. Those are big facts. Alpha says I got the QC35 twos. Yeah, man, the QC35 twos at around 200 regular price. If you can get it for less than two, um, just because that's the thing about headphones, right? The majority of what they do kind of stands the test of time. Like you can have a pair of headphones for 5 years. Like there's no rush to upgrade headphones every year. They don't have a release cycle like that, and they aren't making that big of a jump every year. Like you got some noise canceling one like these Sennheisers. I like the way they sound. I like the way they feel, the comfort. I like them because they're different. I value, somebody taking a unique approach to something. I've had these for like 2 or 3 years, but um, these headphones have been out for probably I don't know when these came out. They came out a long time ago, and so they don't have a lot of the newfangled features like any touch sensitive stuff. They do have NFC, but they don't have an audio pass through feature or option. They take micro USB. Um, as you can see, I'm using a wire right now, but I can keep these like they're ear speakers. Like you don't upgrade speakers in your car, your house, every year. Like that's not something you do. So I think for longevity, you know, QC 35 twos, if you get them at the right price, that's the biggest thing, the price point. You get this stuff at. Um, get it at the right price, they good, man. Because the thing is, you ain't buying like unless you're gonna wait some years, you ain't buying some M4s for less than two. So unless you're gonna spend the extra money, you looking at what you could get for around that price point. And the 32s, you know, unless you get like the Sony M2s, which for me, the M2s were good. I had those. At the time, they were the best to me. They were among the best. They had some finicky stuff with the touch pads. Didn't support any sort of multi-point pairing though. Like that was a killer for me, just because I have so many devices. But they were good though. See, large picture says Bose needs to adjust their sound. They get loud enough for me. In my opinion, noise canceling is uh, bar none best. But uh, yeah, like I said, the noise canceling is it's interesting. I don't know what their goal is because no headphone manufacturers like we cancel all noise. That's just not really possible because noise canceling inherently is active noise canceling is inherently a response to what's going on in your environment. So if you got somebody that coughs, like the earphones don't have enough time to suppress their cough, right? You got somebody that claps with like a loud sound or random noises. Like they don't do very well with that kind of stuff just because of how the tech works. But as far as like canceling out like just hums and ambient sound and if you're in Best Buy and you get a chance to try out the Bose or the Sonys, do it and you will realize just how loud it is in the Best Buy because they actually cancel out all of that just kind of like background hum of people kind of walking and talking and the AC and all that stuff, the hum of lights and computers and fans and all of that. And then like when you take them off, like the amount of noise that's in there that you didn't know existed before is startling, man. Let's see. Alpha says, but I like my Sony M2 better. You like the sound better or the noise canceling? What you like better about them, Alpha? Let's see. Ciova says I bought and sold Beats from day one. Funny thing is, they have more treble than they have than they have Beats. Yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah, the Beats. Only thing I like about the Beats was the ear cushions. Like that little super soft, marshmallowy ear cushion. Only thing I ever liked. Large Picture says I stick with Beats, AirPods, and V Moda, CFW. Damn near indestructible. Look and sound phenomenal. Yeah, man, I got a pair of V Moda's crossfades wireless that I like as well. I had to buy the another thing like they let you swap the pads out. They're not magnetic, but they're fairly easy to replace. But yeah, I had to swap those out for the extra large cushions. They're not super large, but they're deep enough. I don't know if I have like a big head or my ears stick out a lot, but in the stock V-Motor pads, they weren't deep enough for me. But the sound is great though. Like that's some of the best bass on the V motors because it's not a mushy process bass. Like they just naturally sound that way, and they sound the same when you plug them in or if you're using the wireless too. And like you say, they're indestructible. They survive my 5-year-old now, but when she was growing up, she used them. They survived her. Over says my mind was blown when I first heard the noise canceling on Sony. Yeah, man. Yeah, Sony is, especially if you've used some other stuff that says it's noise canceling, like the Beats. If you've used that and then you hear the Sonys and you're able to run that optimizer where it actually, listens to the environment and adjusts its noise canceller based on that, it's shocking. Like I said, especially if you're in an environment that caters to the noise canceling, like on a plane, in an airport. Like I said, Best Buy is great because there's so much noise that it kind of turns into this kind of like background, hum, like this steady hum of noise. And so they do that good. Let's see, who is this? Tox Kid says, "Hi, bro. How are you? What's up, Tox Kid? I'm doing good, man. Doing good." Alpha Comma says my M2 just sounds better overall, much richer sound than my Bose. Yeah, yeah, that was the thing for me, especially like if you like bass. To me, the Sony bass is richer. They got a warmer sound signature than the Bose do. The Bose sounds like a little clearer, a little more detailed, but I don't listen to that type of music a lot, right? I might listen to like some old school stuff, some old R&B, um, but mostly I'm listening to like hip hop or YouTube videos, stuff like that. Large Picture says I got a big head, and yes, I swapped for the XL cushions too. They don't have all the tech, but yeah, it's a dope sound. Yeah, the sound and the indestructibility, like for those headphones, like those are headphones that I would take anywhere. Like I don't have headphones that I do that with because they're, especially the crossfade wireless, they're ready for whatever. Like you need to wire something in, you can do that. You need something wireless, they can do that. You throw them in the bag, you fold them up. Even the little carrying case, when they fold up, is pretty small. But I stopped using the carrying case because they're just so doggone. I mean, you don't have to be fragile with them. Like they're designed to be used, which is what I like. Let's see, Tots Kid says M for India. Big fan. By the way, nice. Hey, this what's up, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to India in the building. That's what's up, man. But yeah, man. So I'm about to go ahead and wrap it up. It's been a little over an hour. Happy to be back with you guys, especially after the surgery and not being able to talk. It was rough on me, man. Had to get back to it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Um, Appreciate everybody for stopping through. Tax Kid, I think that's what it says. Oh, Tox Kid, all the way from India. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love. We'll holla at y'all, man. Till next week. Peace.